How big can this guy be?
He eats planets. So, like, way bigger than a planet.
Reactors, I have just seen Transformers Rise of the Beast, my #1 anticipated film of this year, of 2023. Should you reel it in? Did I enjoy myself watching this film? It's time to find out with this Reel It In review. Transformers Rise of the Beast is here, a movie that I have been ready and waiting for a very long time now. It's been forever since Bumblebee. It's been forever since a Transformers film. And man, I had a blast with this movie. You guys know how hyped I was for this film. You guys have seen the trailer reactions. You guys follow me on either Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok, and you already know how much these films mean to me. And I gotta say, for a Transformers fan, this movie brought me enjoyment. Is this the best Transformers film? I don't know. As of right now, I'm going to watch this movie again so that I can cement that with me. I will be giving you guys a spoiler review. That is something you guys can look forward to. This is a no spoilers review. Not only that, you guys can look for another video here on the channel in which I will rank the Transformers film. So you guys can look forward to that. But right now, speaking no spoilers, I had a fun time watching Transformers Rise of the Beast. Does it meet my expectations? Yes, some of them. Some of my expectations are not met, and that is okay. But overall, looking at this movie, overall, I had a fun time. I enjoyed myself, and I was pleased, and I left that theater with a smile on my face. This is a love letter to Transformers fans. This is a love letter to G1 fans, to Bayverse fans, to Beast Wars fans. It's a love letter overall, and I think everyone that worked on this film, the voice actors, the actors, actresses, even Stephen Caple Jr., our director, this is a true love letter to us Transformers fans. And I love everything about Transformers. I don't like being called a Bayverse fan. I don't like being called a G1's fan or a Beast Wars fan. I love being called a Transformers fan. That's me. That's my personality right there for you. This movie is focused on the Maximals, a new group of Autobots. Terrorcons are being introduced, and obviously the big man himself, Unicron, in which you saw in the trailer. And this movie is focused on, yet again, another MacGuffin. We had a MacGuffin in Transformers, the 2007 film, The Allspark, Revenge of the Fallen, Matrix of Leadership, Dark of the Moon, The Pillars, Age of Extinction, The Seed, and Transformers 5, The Last Night, which was The Staff. I will say this, I'm getting tired of the MacGuffin storyline. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can agree with me on that. I am tired of the MacGuffin storyline. Bumblebee did not have a MacGuffin, I don't believe. But when it comes to Transformers, that main title, they have always introduced a MacGuffin, and it's the same here. And I gotta admit, the MacGuffin, the transwarp key, the whole talk about that, it's cool, but it slows down the story for me. It slows it down. Not only that, when talking about the transwarp key, it's a lot of exposition. And that exposition might not work for some people. And at times, it was getting to me in which I was like, man, this movie is slowing down right now because they have to sit here and talk about the MacGuffin. With Transformers Rise of the Beast, they want to make a trilogy out of this movie, and I'm all for that. I want this movie to succeed. But moving forward, it's about time that Transformers films, live action, move on away from the MacGuffin storyline. Hopefully this is the last time. But speaking on Transformers Rise of the Beast, before we get into what bothered me, I want to talk about the positives. Not only that, I want to talk about the characters. But first, I want to talk about that action. And that action was damn good. Damn good. And that is what Transformers films have always been good at. And for those people that have always said that it's hard to focus on the action, it's hard to tell who is who, this movie does it well, just like Bumblebee does it really well when it comes to action. You can tell what is going on. I never had that problem. So I got 20/20 vision. I never had that problem understanding what's happening in an action scene when it comes to these films, but I understand some people do. But I can say everyone will walk out of this theater enjoying the action. And man, it's so good from beginning to end, from the very first scene to that climactic Act 3 final battle that you see throughout the trailers. They're all good. The museum fight, the fight in Peru, and then the final fight. Perfect, man. They nail it. They nail it in this film. It's good. It's gritty. It's brutal. The hits you feel. The action is really, really good. And that is something I was hoping would hit for me, and it does. The CGI, the special effects, the sound design. The sound design is really good here, but the CGI and special effects are amazing. There are a few shots that might not look the best, but when I say a few, you can consider that me being a nitpick. There's about 2 shots that the CGI and special effects aren't as good. But overall, the CGI and the special effects are really, really good. Coming off the heels of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, a movie that had amazing visuals, I'm glad to say that the next film, Transformers Rise of the Beast, also has amazing visuals. Now, hopefully The Flash continues that next week, but we shall see. But with Transformers Rise of the Beast, the CGI, the special effects, it does not disappoint here. It never disappoints within the Transformers films. So I'm glad to report to you guys that it's the same here. The CGI, amazing. But not only that, the music, the 90s era music. I'm a 90s kid, so to hear some of these classic hip-hop R&B songs throughout this movie, I loved it. It was music to my ears. Music to my ears. Plus that score was really good. And I don't want to say it, no spoilers here, but there is a very familiar score within this movie towards the end that it just might make you tear up. I caught it and I was like, oh man, I'm feeling some emotions here. I was feeling the emotions. I didn't tear up, I did not cry, but I was close because that iconic score made its return in this movie. Now let's talk about our team, the Autobots, starting out with the leader, the heroic leader, played by Peter Cullen, the GOAT himself, Optimus Prime. His journey from beginning to end, oh my god, it's so good. This is by far my favorite character arc of Optimus Prime that we have had in the Transformers film. This is Peter Cullen's best work yet as this heroic figure. Not only that, to see his discussion with Optimus Primal, there are plenty of scenes in which Optimus Primal and Optimus Prime are talking amongst each other, sharing their views. I love it. I love it. And any scene with Optimus Prime and Noah, really good scenes. But overall, this Robo-Jesus, or Robot Jesus, Optimus Prime's character arc is by far one of my favorite things about this movie. Next we have Bumblebee. I love Bumblebee. I love the way he used the radio to talk, thanks to Charlie Watson from the Bumblebee movie that gave him his voice. But Bumblebee in this movie doesn't have much to do, but when he's on screen, he steals the screen. He has a very big moment in this movie in which it brought cheers, it brought claps, it brought the biggest smile that I had throughout this movie. He has a scene in this movie that is so cool, so badass. I cannot wait for you guys to see it. Moving on from Bumblebee, we got Mirage, played by Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson is so good as Mirage, and I knew it. I knew he would be good as Mirage. This man is hilarious in this movie. A lot of the laughs that my theater had were due to Pete Davidson's performance as Mirage. And Mirage works really well with Noah, played by Anthony Ramos, in this movie. Those two, this dynamic duo, really, really good. It's a big part of why I say that this movie has a lot of heart. This movie has so much heart, just like the Bumblebee movie. And that is what I truly, really like about Transformers Rise of the Beast. It has so much heart. And that's due to this storyline between Noah and Mirage. And Stephen Caple Jr. nails it when it comes to these two characters. But Mirage, played by Pete Davidson, is a highlight for sure. Moving on, we have Wheeljack. And I'll be honest with you guys, Wheeljack is a disappointment for me. He doesn't do much in this movie, and it kind of, sucks. He doesn't do much in Transformers Dark of the Moon, and he doesn't do much here. I feel like he could have done more. He's introduced really late in this film, but his design I'm okay with. At first I wasn't, but I've come around to enjoy the way that he looks. But Wheeljack just doesn't do much in this movie. The actor that plays Wheeljack does a good job. Matter of fact, I'll put it out there, the voice cast for all of these characters do a really good job. But Wheeljack is just non-existent for me. He's in the film, you see him, he just doesn't do much. Next we have RC. The voice actress that plays RC does a good job, but RC overall for me works. I enjoyed RC. I enjoyed every scene that she's in, especially in that third act. I think she does a phenomenal job. And also we have Stratosphere. Stratosphere is in this movie, but just like Wheeljack, there's really not much that Stratosphere does other than be a Uber, basically, for the Autobots. Moving on to the Maximals, I'm a Beast Wars fan. I think Beast Wars fans will enjoy the Maximals, but will feel after this movie wanting more of the Maximals. You really don't get much of the Beast. You really don't get much of the whole rise of the Beast. The Maximals are in this, they're just not in it as much. Optimus Primal is a big player in this movie, and Ron Perlman, the voice actor for Optimus Primal, does a really good job. But like I said before, Optimus Primal and Optimus Prime, their scenes, there is a particular moment in this movie in which those two are talking. They have a couple talking scenes in this movie, but there is one moment that will stick with me for quite some time, and it's towards the end. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I'll talk more about it in my spoiler review, but Optimus Primal is really good in this movie, and he's such a badass. And I love his transformation from gorilla to this gigantic warrior, and he is such a badass. I just love Optimus Primal, and I love that he finally says the line that you've heard countless of times.
Maximals, maximize!
When he says that line, Maximals, maximize, my whole theater erupted in claps and cheers, and it was worth it. Optimus Primal is a G in this movie. I enjoyed him. Next we have Eraser, played by Michelle Yeoh, a phenomenal actress that voices a phenomenal character. I love Eraser, but a minor gripe for me is that Eraser does not transform, so I might as well tell you guys that right now. She does not transform at all, but I enjoyed Eraser. I enjoyed Michelle Yeoh as that character. Rhinox, another Maximal in this movie, does transform, but does not talk. I swear I did not hear Rhinox speak a single word I was very shocked that Rhinox did not speak at all. If he did, I must have missed it, but I swear to you, Rhinox just does not speak. Moving on, Cheetor. I enjoyed Cheetor, does transform and does talk, but I feel like when it comes to the Maximals, Primal and Erasor get the most to do in this film. Rhinox and Cheetor are kind of background characters, so that kind of bugs me a little bit, but it's good to see them on the screen, you know, being a Beast Wars fan. But like I said, I feel like Beast Wars fans are going to enjoy this movie for what it is, but wanting more from the Maximals. You get your Optimus Primal, you get your Erasor, but within this group of Maximals, there's only 4 of them. There's only 4, and out of those 4, only 2 are very prominent figures in this movie. The other 2, Rhinox and Cheetor, take a back seat. So, being a Beast Wars fan, that's kind of hard to see, but overall, I'm glad that we have the Maximals finally in a live-action Transformers movie. Moving on to our villains of the story, the Terrorcons, led by Scourge. I'll talk about Scourge in just a second, but speaking on Battletrap and Nightbird, they were a physical force. It reminded me of the very first Transformers film, that 2007 movie, in which the Decepticons would fight back. Not only that, they just kept getting up and wrecking even more havoc than they did before. And that's the same when it comes to Battletrap, to Scourge, to Nightbird. They are a physical force, and they kick ass in this movie. Battletrap, Nightbird, they're putting up a really good fight in this movie, and that brought a smile to my face. Now speaking on Scourge, played by Peter Dinklage, who does a phenomenal job bringing this villain to life. Scourge is a badass. He is the villain. I mean, he is kicking Optimus Prime's ass. He's kicking everybody's ass, and I love that. And I feel like he's going to be up there when it comes to Transformers villains. I mean, he's going to be up there with Sentinel Prime. He's going to be up there with Lockdown, and he's for sure going to be up there with Megatron, even though Megatron, you know, takes a back seat in the Bayverse films. But the interaction that Scourge has with Optimus Prime, the ongoing feud, the ongoing rivalry that they have, so good. I didn't say this with Optimus Prime, but if you were wanting to see the badass Optimus Prime that you know from the Bayverse films, it's in here. Oh, it's in here. Optimus Prime talks some smack in this movie, and he backs it up. You wanted Ruthless Prime? Oh, he's in this movie. Optimus Prime is ruthless in this movie, and so is Scourge. So when those two finally meet, and they finally fight, and they fight quite a few times in this movie, oh, it is a treat to watch. But overall, Scourge is a great villain. Now speaking on the big bad, the Planet Eater, Unicron, the one that really reeled you guys in trailer number 2, that official trailer. It sure enough reeled me in and got me excited. So to see Unicron in this movie, amazing. Seeing Unicron not only destroy a planet, as you would expect, but seeing Unicron take up my IMAX screen, oh, you guys have got to see this movie in IMAX. I mean, Unicron is single-handedly the price of admission. Just to see the size, that gigantic figure take up your whole screen and do damage, wow. But yeah, the actor that plays Unicron does a good job. Just not as good as Orson Welles. But Unicron is teased, and by teased, you get quite a lot of him in this movie, just not as much. But I understand that because Unicron will be a recurring villain moving forward with these Transformers films. And last but not least, we have our human characters, Noah and Elena. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed Noah's story, especially with his brother. And to see Noah's whole character arc, to see his relationship with Mirage, to see him go back and forth with Optimus Prime, it's really great. Elena is okay. I enjoyed Elena for what she does. Charlie Watson is still my favorite human female character. and then I'm going to have to say Elena, and then Michaela, and then Carly right after that. I love our female characters. I love our male characters when it comes to Transformers, and I gotta say the humans don't bring this movie down. That is a big part. That is something that you need to hear. The human characters do not bring this movie down at all. I know a lot of people don't like human characters in these Transformers film, and I'm one of those people, but I let it slide and I'm okay with it. You just want your Autobots, you just want your Decepticons, you just want robot action. I understand that, and I'm with you on that. I'm the same way, but I just got to report to you guys that the human characters do not ruin this film. Matter of fact, their storylines are, just as good, especially with Noah. Now, before I get into the things that just did not sit well with me, I got to put this out there. The robot screen time is at its best here. You get a lot of the Maximals, you get a lot of the Autobots, you get a lot of the Terrorcons, Scourge and Unicron. It's the best here. In a lot of the Transformers movies, it was human characters first, robots second. But in this movie, it's robots first, human characters are second. You get a little bit and quite a lot of screen time with Noah and Elena, but overall, looking at it all now that I've seen the movie, you get way more screen time with the robots, and that is something that I truly appreciate when it comes to Transformers Rise of the Beast. Now, the things that just did not sit well with me, the MacGuffin is for sure the number one thing. I already talked about that. Number two, this runtime. This runtime is shockingly super fast. This movie clocks in just about 2 hours, and when I say 2 hours, it is a fast 2 hours. You get a really good intro, and then you get the introduction to Noah and Elena, and I gotta admit, that is when the story was getting really, really slow for me, in which I was like, where are the Autobots at? Hurry up and bring them on the screen. But once the Autobots are introduced, this movie takes off. Next thing you know, you're in the final act. Next thing you know, the movie's over. That is how fast this movie goes. So yeah, that runtime could have been used a little bit better. I feel like an extra 15 to 20 minutes could have been used to flesh out the Maximals. But for me, I don't need that much explaining when it comes to the Maximals, given the fact that I watched Beast Wars. But for the average movie goer, the casual fan, they're going to need that explaining of why, the Maximals have chosen this form of a bird, a monkey, a cheetah, a rhino. They are going to need that explained, and that is not touched upon in this movie. The Maximals are introduced. Next thing you know, things are happening, and then you have the third act, and like every other Transformers movie, the abrupt ending. So yeah, the runtime could have been better, and with an extended runtime, maybe an added 15 or 20 minutes, this movie wouldn't have pacing issues that it does within that second act. The first act is really good, even though, like I said, Noah and Elena's story, they take a while to get going. Therefore, the introduction to the Autobots take a while to get going. But once that first act takes off, it takes off. That second act can be a little bit bumpy, but that third act sticks the landing, and it gives you what you want and what you paid for. So that is what I love. But overall, I enjoyed Transformers Rise of the Beast. It's about time I wrap up this review. I've been talking for quite a lot. I'm pretty sure this is going to be my longest Reel It In review, but you guys were pretty much expecting that, given the fact that this is my number one movie that I've been waiting for. But overall, I enjoyed Transformers Rise of the Beast. It meets some of my expectations. It doesn't meet all of my expectations. I'm not disappointed by this movie. This is what I wanted. I wanted to be entertained, and I left that movie theater feeling entertained. I plan on seeing this again so that I can fully develop and submit my thoughts. Not only that, my ranking of the Transformers films, and know where Transformers Rise of the Beast will land within those rankings. But I enjoyed Transformers Rise of the Beast. For a rating, I'm going to give this movie it just squeezes a 4 out of 5 stars. Maybe on a couple watches this rating might change, but I don't see it going any lower. I think 4 out of 5 is perfect as of right now. So that is my rating, a 4 out of 5. Out of 10, I will give this an 8. But that is my rating. I didn't say it at the beginning of this review, so that is my fault. But this is a reboot. If you didn't know, you know now. Bayverse is over here. Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast is over here. We are focused on a new era. We are launching ourselves into a new journey, and I'm so excited, and I cannot wait to see where these characters and where this storyline goes. I mean, we are in a bright future for Transformers, and like I said in the beginning, this is a love letter to Transformers fans, and I'm so glad that this movie is here now. It's been a long wait, and for me, that long wait has delivered, and it has given me a great experience in the theaters, and hopefully you guys feel the same exact way once you guys leave your theater and your viewing of Transformers Rise of the Beast. But before I end this review, I gotta say, there is an after credit scene, but the scene before the credits start, that scene is jaw-dropping. I was totally shocked by that. Everyone in my theater was freaking out. I cannot wait to see where they're going to go. I will speak more about it in my spoiler review. But wow, I cannot wait to see where that goes. That ending is super shocking. I cannot wait for you guys to find out what that is. But there is an after credit scene. It's not as big as the scene before that, but there is an after credit scene. Make sure you guys stay for that. But Transformers Rise of the Beast, I enjoyed it here. Sound off in the comments down below. But this will conclude this Reel It In review for Transformers Rise of the Beast. This is Reel It In Reactions. I'm Reel It In Miles. I'll catch you guys in the next Reel It In review. Peace.